Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be faced with another viciously difficult cryptic crossword today, this time by James McGaughey. And I've checked the Snitch first thing this morning. It was over 200 again, but I haven't looked at the stats yet. So this is where we'll get a really good idea. I mean, this is crazy. I'm not even sure Freema's 1968 is a real person there. 10 minutes. Mark's in at 12 minutes. Jason James, nearly 13 minutes. Matthew Marcus, who won the Times Crossword Championship 2 years ago, 16 minutes. And Matthew's average time will be, I think it's under 6 minutes for a puzzle. I don't want to click play yet. I want to just have a look further down the list to see. Last week, you could get in with, it's basically as hard as last week, isn't it? Still, only 65 people have even entered a time. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully it will be a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll be able to do it. We shall see. Now, let me just check. I want to mention quickly the new layout that we're going for at the moment, which allows us to display the dictionary at the bottom of the screen. We are not wedded to this. And we've noticed that sort of 10 to 15 people have requested we go back to the old layout. The difficulty for us is thousands of people watch this video. And judging whether people are in general in favour of the new layout or not is hard for us. So please, if you have a really strong opinion, drop a comment on this video and we will then, I think, be in a better position to know what we should do going forward. The reason we went for this layout is that it does allow us to have the dictionary on the screen, and also just from a point of view of me doing the video, or from the point of view of me doing the video, I'm having to use some different software to record at the moment, which means that having the dictionary on the screen all the time is a lot easier for me, because I'd have to fiddle around with OBS each time I wanted to use the dictionary if we do have to resort to the old method. It's not impossible, but this way is easier for me at the moment. Anyway, what else can I tell you about? I've got I've got birthdays to do in the Sudoku video later, but I've got no birthdays to do in this video. Mark has just released over on Patreon his solve of the latest Club Monthly special from the Times. That's a viciously difficult puzzle that Mark tries to do without using a dictionary. It's really very impressive to watch, actually. And I say that as somebody, I suppose, who's reasonably decent at solving puzzles. I don't think I'm wrong in saying there's probably no one else on earth who would make such an impressive job of what Mark does in that. So if you want to watch some really, really amazing cryptic crossword solving, do check that out. And for those of you who've been requesting more listener crossword solves, we've got one of those coming up soon as well over on Patreon. So check us out there. Anyway, I think that's everything. Let's get started. Let's get cracking and see what James has in store for us today. I will try and be as educational as I can be, but frankly, these puzzles are when they're this difficult, I will just be delighted if I can solve it at all. Let's have a look though. One across, 8 letters. Delicate shot, dealing with service when returning. So immediately we're conjuring up an image in our brain of tennis, and we have to ignore those instincts, because they're almost certainly just going to be misleading. Remember, every one of these clues has a straightforward definition of the answer to be entered. And the rest of the clue, the bit that isn't that straight definition, is a recipe that tells you how to construct the word that we have to enter. So it might say anagram a word, or it might say put a word inside another word, or it might say reverse a word. But there will be an instruction. It might not be written in quite the way that you expect it to be written, but it has to be exact. It has to be a precise instruction. So let's look at this. The definition is almost always at the start or the end of the word, or the clue, sorry. So it could be an 8-letter word meaning delicate, or delicate shot, or on the other side of the clue, returning. Now, remember what I've just said. some bit of this clue is going to be the recipe. So a word like returning, that feels very much like it should be part of the recipe, because service when returning might be, think of a word that means service and reverse it, return it. So I'm much more keen to think that this is an 8-letter word, probably meaning delicate rather than delicate. Are there 8-letter words for delicate shots? What's a delicate shot? A dab? No, a shot. I don't know. The other thing I'm now thinking is, if delicate was the definition, shot dealing, what could that mean if we're trying to think of that as a recipe? If something is shot, it's sort of clapped out, isn't it, in colloquial English? So could that be an anagram indicator for the word dealing? I don't like that, really, because I can't think of... Service is not abbreviatable to S. Remember, any abbreviation has to be supported by the dictionary. If we go to S, or almost always has to be supported by the dictionary, we won't find service as one of these listed words. Let me just check that my recording is showing you what I think it should be showing you. Yeah, that looks good. So when I see service here, I'm thinking it might be a military service, like the RAF. That would be a service. I don't know, is that the senior service? Is that the RAF? Or is that the Navy? I'm never quite sure. I'm not very good at... Never was in the CCF at school. I think this is an 8-letter word that means delicate. Fragile, no. Don't know. Should we try 2 down? Let's give it a go. 5 letters. If heard, a dog can be found. James writes the most brilliant services. If heard, a dog can be found. What's this? I don't know what this is. I can't quite read this properly. I think it's going to be a homophone. You'll see many references in cryptic crossword clues to hearing something. It might even say, we hear, or by the sounds of it. That's another phrase that you'll see a lot. And what that tends to mean is a word that sounds like another word, but is spelt differently. So there is a type of dog called a peak, as for a Pekingese, I think. So it might be a peak. But if we spell it differently, could it be a word that means found? If heard, a dog can be found. What's the A doing as well? The A must be relevant. Nothing should be superfluous in a good cryptic crossword clue, and James writes only the very best cryptic crossword clues. So just from a technical perspective, if this is a homophone, that A will be important. So I think this might be an A. A dog, a Pomeranian, a corgi. I'm trying to think of short words for dogs. Oh, I mean, a dog might not be a species of dog. If somebody's a dog, they're sort of a rogue, aren't they? Maybe a cur or a cad. Found. I can't get it. Let's try 9 down. 6 letters. Undesirable growth of plant factory justified in report. Undesirable growth of plant. I mean, could that be the definition? Do plants have undesirable growths on them? Factory justified. I mean, report here. We just looked at, where was the clue? It's gone. This one. We said this could be a homophone. If something is reported to you, you'd hear it. So I do wonder whether factory justified. A factory could be a mill. Justified. A short synonym for the word justified. Don't know it. Don't know. Sorry. Let's try 10 across. This is not going well so far. 2-3. Former South American king. Provided for driver. Former South American king. Provided for driver. Former South American. Okay, I finally got one. That's taken me so long. It's not actually that difficult a clue. Right. So, our first job, as usual, is to try and work out what the definition is. It's not very easy to do here. The way I've sort of lucked into this is I thought of king. Now, king in Cryptic Crossword world. Now we have a king, King Charles. Now his abbreviation is CR, Charles Rex. Rex being the Latin word for king. So if you see king, it could be CR. However, it could just be R for Rex. And that's what it is here. Now, a former South American, you might be familiar with the Incans. Now, an Inca is therefore a former South American. So Inca, R for the king, and then the definition here is provided for driver. If something is in car, like you might have an in-car stereo, mightn't you? So that was something provided for the driver. No, that's so difficult. No, it's not difficult. But I appreciate if you're new to Cryptic Crosswords, that might seem ridiculous. Let's go back to 2 down now, because I quite like my idea of, ascot. No. Why? A Scotty. No, a Scot isn't a dog. No. I'm not going to be pejorative to Scottish people. If heard, a dog can be found. A cur. It's not a cur, is it? OCCUR. Found. Can found be a cur? To occur? Is that to found? Maybe. I'm wondering, could it be that? Does occur sound like occur? If you see what I mean, because occur, the word I'm thinking of here is CUR. That word CUR is a rogue or a dog, I'm thinking. So let's look at my dictionary and I will show you. It says a worthless dog. So does a cur sound like occur? It sort of does. And if it does, can occur be synonymous with found? To found. To found is the sort of start, and that could be to occur. Something occurs, it sort of crops up. I'm not certain that's wrong. I know that shouldn't be the criteria by which I put answers into this crossword, but that is not being certain that they're wrong. But I honestly think that could be the answer. I'm going to try and get some more checking letters. Let's try 3 down, 7 letters. Mute used by violinist. I really hope it's not the name of a technical mute, because I won't know it, I don't think. Otherwise, racket pierces terribly. Mute used by violinist. Otherwise, racket pierces terribly. This is one of James's skills. There is so much going on in this clue. It's really hard. It's really hard to actually work out what on earth is going on. There's part of me that thinks this feels like a hidden clue. There's part of me that thinks it's an anagram. The word terribly is very often an anagram indicator. Pierces does have 7 letters. But if that's right, that would imply the definition of this 7-letter answer is mute used by violinist, otherwise racket, which is nonsense. Mute. I keep thinking of the word smother. I don't think that's right. Should we go for 12 across then? 8 letters. Mistake during dive, leaving 5 engineers behind. Mistake during dive, leaving 5 engineers behind. I don't know what this is. It might be a word. It might be derriere. I think it could be derriere. Okay. I mean, I'm laughing because it's so difficult. It's so difficult. I've been solving these crosswords for decades, and I'm looking at this clue, and I've almost got tears in my eyes. Okay, here is why this might be derriere, and I'll try and explain how I've backed into this answer, because it's very much. It might not even be derriere, but this is the thought process I went through. Dive, leaving 5. Now, when you see numbers in cryptic crosswords, very often, if you can translate those into a natural Roman numeral, you should always try to do it. So the Roman numeral for the number 5 is V. So dive, leaving 5 feels like take the V out of the word dive. I then spent a good few seconds thinking, oh, it's an anagram. Mistake might be an anagram indicator. If the letters of during dive were treated as a mistake, I was thinking maybe we'll have to anagram them, but it's the wrong number of letters. We'd have 9 letters there, we only need 8, so I didn't understand. And then I thought, maybe if I can think of a word for a mistake and I put that during, so inside the letters of dive without the V, could that engineer a word that means behind? Now, I haven't worked out why. I think engineer, I think it's engineers are Royal Engineers here. So derriere is the answer. And the way this works is to mistake is to E-double-R. That goes in D-I-E, the dive minus the V. The engineers are the Royal Engineers. Let's go and have a look at those. You might see, sometimes it might say soldiers or men in cryptic crossword clues. And one possible abbreviation there would be RE, because the Royal Engineers are some brigade of the army. It doesn't actually tell you what they are. I'm pretty sure they are. And the clue, the 8-letter, so we are looking for an 8-letter word that means behind as in your bottom, your derriere. Now let's go to this one again then. This is the undesirable growth on a plant. Mildew. That's right. That is right. So the factory is, so this is a great homophone. So the factory is the mill, M-I-double-L. If something is justified, it's due, D-U-E. But if we say mill and dew together, with those spellings, mildew, it sounds exactly the same as that word. And mildew is some sort of thing to do with plants, isn't it? Doesn't it kill plants? Mildew. A disease on plants caused by the growth of minute fungi. So there we go. We've got it. So it does look like occur. Well, no, occur could well be correct, but we got a W at the start of 15, which is 7-7. Frankly weird. Me? I don't know, I don't fit. Frankly weird, present heralded by hearts on card. frankly. I really want the first word to be without for some reason. Frankly, without question, without. Weird present, heralded by hearts, on card. I don't know. There's so much going on here again. My only thoughts, you see a reference to hearts there. That's going to be the suit hearts in cards. So hearts, diamonds, spades, clubs. And I think from bridge scoring, they can be abbreviated to H, D, C, and S, as you'd expect. So hearts is probably, this word hearts is probably indicating an H somewhere in this answer, which of course is useless. Weird could be an anagram indicator. That could be saying treat the letters of present probably in a weird way, anagram them. Heralded by hearts on card. Ah, right. Okay, I didn't know what card was, but a card. You see, James is trying to point us in the direction of a playing card, hearts on card. But a card, if somebody's, oh, he's a real card, what would you be saying about them? They're an extrovert, they're a comic, they're a wit. So, this is looking quite interesting. So wit, so hearts on card, I think is wit, H on wit. So frankly weird present, heralded by, I think means introduced by. So that's why this with is going at the start. So present or present, frankly weird, without. Maybe if you're weird, you're out. Or are you outre? Frankly, without. So I need, if this is right, I need a 5-letter word that means present or present. Frankly, without. Oh, Simon. Frankly. It could, the RE could be wrong. I'm sure without is right. Oh, let's go and have a look at this. Is this burrito? Going down here. Oh no. Oh, is this? Oh no, I thought it might be scherzo or something. There is some weird word that I think I've seen in crosswords before that is a mute used by a violinist. Otherwise, racket. A racket could be a din, couldn't it? If somebody makes a racket, they make a din. Right. Otherwise, so what's a short synonym for otherwise? Or. So or din, otherwise racket, pierces terribly. So a 2-letter word that means terribly, ending in O. It's not so, is it? He was so annoying. He was terribly annoying. So, maybe. Sordino. Is that a word? It might be. Sordino. It rings the vaguest of bells. I'm not going to look it up in the dictionary yet. If the S gets justified by one across, I will look it up. Let's go and have another look at this then. So 8 letters. Blank O blank S. Delicate shot. Dealing with service when returning. Delicate shot. Dealing with, could that be for? F-O-R? Service when returning. Delicate shot is a fore. It's not a forehand. For. No, I want it to be something like eggshell. That's delicate, isn't it? But obviously, oh, a cur could be wrong. It couldn't be eggshell, could it? I don't think so. Should we go for 4 down? I've not looked at it yet. 10 letters. Soaking allotment. Okay, I'm going to stop there and just say words like allotment, if you see them, your allotment of something is your ration of it. Now, why do I bring up the word ration? It's a beloved word of cryptic crossword constructors because it's so it finishes so many words. Ration. R-A-T-I-O-N. So I'd be very surprised if this clue doesn't end in R-A-T-I-O-N. Soaking allotment opened by official staff. Soaking. Saturation. Why? Why? No, it's not. It's not saturation. It's maceration. To macerate is to soak, I think. And an official staff, it's not talking about official staff as in, the official people at the embassy. It's talking about the staff you hold, which is a mace, I think. So maceration, maceration, and I think maceration is to soak. Let's go back. Consomme? Delicate. Consumer? Gossamer. Gossamer is something that's delicate. A shot is a go. A gossamer is going to be right. A shot is a go. I don't know how the rest of it works, but gossamer is probably the answer. If you have a shot at something, you have a go at it. Dealing with, yeah, this is right. This is right. So if something is dealing with it, if a memo that you got was dealing with a particular subject, in the heading it would often say re, and you can see that is re here. Dealing with service, a service in a church is mass, and that returns. So we have go followed by re-mass reversing to give gossamer, and sordino. Now I will be prepared to look up because, well, all the checking letters. Sordino, there it is. A mute or damper to soften or deaden the sound of an instrument. Wow. So we'll look up maceration while we're here. Maceration. To macerate is to steep or soak. So maceration is just the act of that. So that's good, isn't it? I mean, it's been very difficult, but delightful. And 5 down, 4 letters. Toss sticks at the seaside. Okay, we're quite lucky with this this R at the start of this. It's a long time since I've had this, but when I was a child, when we went to the seaside, I went to the pier at Brighton. Now, actually, that wouldn't be right. I wouldn't have gone to the... Well, maybe I did go to the pier at Brighton, but it's more likely to have been Morecambe or somewhere like that. But anyway, you used to get a stick of rock, didn't you? So sticks at the seaside, I think, are going to be rock. And if a boat tosses, it rocks. So to toss is to rock, I think. So what's this? Cyclotron or something? No, it's not. 9 letters, beginning with C. Bad spirit. More or less reflected. A lack of claret. Oh, is this going to be... I mean, claret... I don't think that claret here could refer to blood, but I'm not sure. I certainly know rugby players talk about claret as a euphemism for blood. So I'm wondering whether a lack of claret could be something like, I don't know, anemia or... But I think if it was that, there would have had to be a question mark at the end of the clue. I don't know this. until we check, and I won't check until I've solved the clue. But I don't think claret. I'm not even sure it would say it blood in the dictionary, but I do know it as a something that rugby players talk about. But okay, what else is claret? Claret is a drink, obviously. I wonder if claret is the colour. Yeah, claret and blue. That's the colours of West Ham, isn't it? So claret probably is the colour. I'm wondering, is cochineal, has that got any So I think there's a word that's something like that is some colour of red. Now, it will now turn out to be not spelt like that and be the colour blue or something, but I think it's a colour red. But why would this be right? Bad spirit, more or less reflected, a lack of. Bad spirit, more or less, reflected a lack of. This just looks like nonsense. Sorry, I'm sorry. I think that's just nonsense. It just doesn't. Well, if it's right, I have no idea why it's right. Let's have a look at this one. Well, this is an interesting one. I think I know what this is. So, 6 across, 5 letters. Show contempt for playwright copying Smith with a P. Smith. There is a word. Sure. So I think that might be. I mean, that looks like it's some sort of pun on George Bernard Shaw. And I'm pretty sure the word PSHAW is like booing or hissing. Show contempt for, I pshaw you. I pshaw you. So next time you're in a verbal argument with somebody, don't be unpleasant to them in the normal way. Make sure you just tell them that you pshaw them greatly, and it might calm everything down. So that's what I'd go for. I feel like it's a pun on George Bernard Shaw, but I will look this one up. I'm sure it's a word. I think it's a word I've played in Scrabble before. There we go. Expressing contempt or impatience. To say pshaw. I don't know how many people say pshaw. Oh, how is it pronounced? Does it actually does the P sounded? It looks sometimes. It doesn't have to be. Right, well, let's see if we can use that. Let's have a look at 6 down, which is 7 letters beginning with P now. Innkeeper's yearly drink cut by doctor. Yearly drink. The concept of somebody having a yearly drink. It's the 15th of May. Time for my yearly drink. I don't know what this is. I mean, the only part of the clue that means anything to me, well, this isn't quite right, but yearly makes me think of the phrase per annum. And I know per annum can be abbreviated to PA. So I'm thinking PA plays some part in this. So I think this is probably a 7-letter word for an innkeeper. If yearly is PA, let's try and read the rest of it as a recipe. Drink cut by doctor. So that makes me think we've got PA, then we've got probably a 3-letter word for drink. I'm thinking of sup, sip, or lap. Cut by a doctor, and I think we're looking for an abbreviation for a doctor, and we talked about this last week. They are Legion, GP, DR, MO for medical officer, probably others as well. I think DD, Doctor of Divinity. Ale could be a drink. That might give us a better ending. LE at the end. Innkeeper. If it was ale, so pag pale. I don't know. This is a tricky word, actually. I think cochineal's been knocked on the head as well, because that would put an I here. And my drink would begin with I if I've passed the clue correctly, or the doctor would begin with I, and I don't know any abbreviations for doctors that begin with I. I don't know. Sorry. Let's move on. 7 down. 4-5 beginning with H. Note struggle behind house. Result of shooting there. That's another great clue. Note struggle behind house. Result of shooting there. Home video would be what I think that could be. That would be the result of shooting with a camera. Obviously, the clue is trying to allude to something far more violent than a home video, but home, or is it movie? Might be home movie. Okay. Home, oh, memo. Yes, it is home movie. Right, I've understood it. Right, so to solve this one, we're very lucky with the H, frankly. But if we read the clue and we're trying to work out which side of the clue, which part of the clue is a recipe, when you see words like behind, that's indicating the position of something, and it's so often or so likely that is therefore part of the recipe. So we need something that means note struggle, and we'll come on to what that is. Behind, so later in the words than something that means house. Now, house can be abbreviated to HO, and I'm afraid that's just something that you have to get used to with some of these clues. Oh, no, it can. I knew it could. There, house. So we've got HO, a note. If you write a note to somebody, you might write them a memo. And if you struggle with somebody, you would vie with them. And that gives us home movie. And that is something that might be shot at a house, a home movie. So, okay, I now have to look up the word cochineal and see if it is a red colour. Please be a red colour. Oh, it's not even a word. No, it is. A scarlet dye stuff. There we go. So it wasn't total and utter rubbish, but it's not right, is it? Cyclone. Bad spirit. More or less. Reflected a lack of claret. Bad spirit. I'm not sure. Let's try 8 down, which begins with W, 6 letters. Unfriendly judge goes after successful outcome. Okay. I haven't got this yet, but let's try. Yeah, I have got this now. Let's try and read it again and try and work out which side of the clue we think is the definition. So it could be a word that means unfriendly. It could be a word that means unfriendly judge. Or, on the other side of the clue, it could be a word that means outcome or successful outcome. What do you think? Make a decision. Once you've made the decision, justify it in your brain and be convinced about it. And if you're convinced about it, you're probably right. Because here we've got this phrase, goes after. So again, that's indicating position, isn't it? We need to put something after. And the phrase here that's key is successful outcome. Can we think of a short synonym for a successful outcome beginning with W? Yes, win. A win is a successful outcome. So let's reread the clue. Unfriendly, judge goes after the successful outcome. So we need a 3-letter synonym for a judge or to judge. And the whole thing is going to mean unfriendly. Now, if you judge someone in a court, they would be tried. To try is to judge. Wintry is unfriendly if you had a wintry disposition. Now, what on earth? A bad spirit, then? Is this some? This is going to be some weird voodoo word or something. A cockerman or something. I don't know. More or less reflected. A lack of claret. Okay. Here's an idea. I'm thinking of, well, what I want to do is put no medoc at the end of CA. I can't even work out what that would say. Is that cacodemon? That could be a bad, something demon could be a bad spirit. Yeah, so more or less would be circa, wouldn't it? Which can be abbreviated to CA. And then reflected, so we're going to reverse a lack of claret. Well, if you had a lack of claret, you would have no medoc. One of my favourite wines is Hope Medoc, so I'm familiar with that as a type of wine. And that would give cacodemon. It could be a word. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's right, because I love the fact it ends in demon. I can justify. I'm so sure. I've never heard of it before, but a cacodemon. An evil spirit. That's great, isn't it? So we've got a cacodemon. Padfoot? No. Oh, right, okay. The doctor could be the DR, could be DR then, couldn't it? So PA for a yearly. Doctor? No, DR or DD. And then we need PO. Oh, now this is, there is a word, padrone. I don't know what it means. It could be an innkeeper. Now, the reason I'm groaning internally now is my ignorance, because one is one of these awful words that has a zillion definitions, some of which are not obvious. So, for example, one, I think, is synonymous with the word joke. Tell us another one. Tell us another joke. But I think if you have one for the road, it might be a drink. So padrone could be justified in that case. I think it's going to be padrone or padral. But the fact I've heard of padrone as a word, I don't know what it means, but let's see if we can justify the O. Window, could it be a dormer? Yeah, okay, good. So we're going to put dormer in. Daughter first mentioned, unopened window. Again, it's a lovely surface, but daughter can be abbreviated to D. I don't know why this is. I suspect it's from genealogy and sort of family trees. But if we go there, probably it's a small letter abbreviation there. Daughter. So, daughter, D, first mentioned, former, Former, unopened, so we're unopening the word former to give ormer, de-ormer, a dormer window. I'm sure we've all heard of those. So I'm going to go with padrone, and I'm going to look it up. There it is, a shipmaster, an innkeeper. So that's great. And now we should look at one. If we look at one, oh no, it's well, there it is, a drink. Let me just check. You can see that on the video. Can you see that? A drink. Yeah, you can see it. A drink, as in a quick one. So that is super. we've almost done the top half of the puzzle. Without, frankly, without regard, without present, weird, or frankly weird. What's this word for present or present? Without frankly. I'm only going to get an E from here, aren't I? That's what I'm going to get, and it's not going to help. We'll have a quick look at 14 down. No checking letters, 10 letters long. Ring sailor in race that's lost time. He'll protest. Demonstrate. It's not demonstrate, it's too long. Ring sailor in race that's lost time. So what's a race? So race that's lost time makes me think of, we need to think of a race like the marathon and take a T out of it, because T can be abbreviated, or can be an abbreviation for time. That's probably from Newton's equations, V equals U plus AT and things like that. So ring sailor, what's that as well? Well, ring, I think, is very likely to be the letter O. The letter O, if we look it up, it means anything round. So ring, I think, will be the letter O. A sailor, there's lots of abbreviations for sailors. Let's go through some of them. AB, for able seaman. OR, I think. No. Yeah, no, I think OR. No, OS, ordinary seaman. OR can be a soldier, I think, from other ranks. TAR, every nice girl loves a sailor, every nice girl loves a tar. So we're going to be looking probably for O and then a 2 or 3 letter word or abbreviation for a sailor. So we need a 6 or 7 letter word for race that's lost time. So if it was marathon, marathon is an 8 letter word, so that would give us 7 letters if we took, so marathon. Marathon, I need to put O, an abbreviation for sailor, for somebody who would protest. Doesn't feel right, does it? Also, it wouldn't have an E as a second letter, which is what I think we're going to be looking for. So I'm thinking of the wrong race, unfortunately. Okay, let's move on. We've actually got a starting letter here, 16 down. 9 letters. We're about to get flown over by a low-flying aircraft. I can't do anything about that, I'm afraid. Maverick likes to buzz by occasionally. So, sorry. Anyway, hello, Maverick. 9 letters, beginning with T. Thin cleaner, not thin enough to fit around piano. Thin cleaner, not thin enough. Not thin enough. I want that to be too fat or something. TOOFAT, to fit around. Too stout to fit around. Toothpick, too thick, too. Yeah, that's probably right. Too thick. Toothpick. Yeah. So, not thin enough is TOOTHICK, and that fits around, that surrounds P, which is a valid abbreviation for piano, and that's from music scores. And toothpick is a thin cleaner. That's lovely, isn't it? It's a brilliant clue. 17 across. 527. Silly wet males, not for Jermaine Greer, say. Oh my goodness. Do I have to know the books of Jermaine Greer? That is going to be a worry. The female eunuch, was that Germaine Greer? Oh god, I'm going to show so much ignorance here. Oh, silly wet males not. No, it's not. It's going to be an anagram, isn't it? So I need 14 letters. So I'm wondering if silly is being used as an anagram indicator. And if it was, wet males not for, I think is 14 letters long. And then Germaine Greer say. So it's not a book by Germaine Greer. It's going to be a description of somebody like Germaine Greer. Something of woman of I can't see it. Do you think this is woman? It could be. Let's put woman in. Woman of. Now what have we got left? T. E. Well, the E might be the next E. Have we got two T's actually? Woman of letters. Oh, I like that. Yeah, woman of letters. That's going to be right, isn't it? As a man of letters, a woman of letters. That feels right. So a female writer, i.e. Right, let's try. We have got some good letters from this one. We get a starting letter for 18 down. 7 letters long. Beginning with A. Prisoner with muscles died gripping that bunk. A prisoner with muscles died. I don't know what this is, but can we think of any short letter or short words for muscles? Abs is what I'm thinking of. Lats and things like that as well. But abs looks great with the A at the start, doesn't it? Died can be abbreviated to D. So if it was muscles, so if it was abs, D, gripping that bunk, I don't know what that means yet, but this would be a prisoner. Oh, abscond. Oh, that's lovely. That's such a well-written clue. Prisoner with muscles died gripping that bunk. So the way this works grammatically is we need to think of a short synonym for a prisoner. There are two that come up a lot. A lag, L-A-G, and a con, as in a convict. Now, so this time it's con. So prisoner, con, with muscles died gripping that. So gripping that prisoner, we have abs D to give a word that means bunk, not as in a bunk bed, but if you do a bunk, you abscond. All the words are doing exactly the duty you think they shouldn't be doing, but it still all works and ties together grammatically. Is this behest or schism? 22 across 6 letters. Work over there has Hebe in the middle. What? Work over there. Work over? There has Hebe in the middle. Oh, I see. Yes, no, this is a hidden. Oh, that's that's great. It's great. I'm chuckling because it's so cleverly written that you can't see it, or I couldn't see it for about a minute. Right. This is the type of clue I always used to look for when I first started doing cryptic crosswords. I say this every time, but it's a hidden. The answer is actually written in the clue, spelt out within it. Now, when this happens, some people think, oh, the constructor can just do this and not tell you. No, every cryptic crossword clue has to contain an exact recipe, and the recipe has to tell you what to do. So, in the middle of the phrase or the sequence of letters, there has he be, you will see spelt out rehash, rehash. And if you rehash something, you work over. To work over is to rehash something. So that is how it works. Very clever. I'm going to go for 28 down because it looks easier. It's got that K in it. Is it naked? No, it's not, is it? 5 letters. So assigned to classes, ranked. Yeah. So assigned to classes, ranked. Letting name go. Well, N can be an invalid abbreviation for name. So ranked without N gives raked. And if something is on a list, to list is to tilt. And you might have heard of a theatre rake, which is the sort of slope of the seats in the theatre. So raked can mean to be on a list, to be on a tilt. Let's go for 21 down. I'm going to guess at armour. It's probably not. 6 letters. Real man using lasso under pressure. Yeah, that's a lovely clue. Again, go through it. Go through the process. The idea is we have to learn how to read the clues. I.e., which word or words in this clue is defining this 6-letter answer. Do you think it's real? Is it real man? Or is it under pressure? Or maybe just pressure? Now remember, anything that indicates position is probably part of the recipe. So this phrase, under pressure, is not saying, is somebody under pressure? It is saying underneath an abbreviation for the word pressure. And pressure can be abbreviated to P. So it's a down clue. So underneath the P for pressure, we need a man using a lasso. Well, he would be a roper. And that gives us the word proper. And if something is real, it is proper. It's beautiful. Beautifully written. Now we should be able to have a guess at this without looking at the clue. I'm not sure. No, philosophy, learning, maybe. So 9 letters. Learning lovers posh, but heartless. Fancy him a lot. It's the wording of it is unbelievable. Learning lovers posh, but heartless. Fancy him a lot. Learning? Is a learning lover somebody who loves learning? Because that might be a philomath. Yeah, that's the answer. A philomath. I think that's somebody who loves learning. And I can justify that because posh but heartless is saying, look at the word posh and render it heartless, i.e. take out its middle. And if you take out the middle from the word posh, you get P-H. And then fancy him a lot is not saying love him a lot or like him a lot. It's saying treat the letters him a lot in a fancy way. Anagram them. And if we add an anagram of him a lot to PH, we can get philomath. I didn't know it as a word, but it probably is a word, isn't it? Philomath, a lover of learning. But the way that James writes the clue, he doesn't. The way I'd have written the clue, which would be my pathetic way, I would have put lover of learning, or I don't know, Socrates ? Or something. That's what I would have done. But what James does is he switches it round and says, and learning lovers with the apostrophe to make it sound like you're hearing news about your lover, which is it is by far the better way of doing it, and really very, very intelligently written. Now, let's go for 19. We at least got a starting letter there. 3, 4, beginning with T. Number 1 hit, of course. Number 1 hit, of course. Is this golf? Okay, so when I read this clue, if I'm on the golf course, the number 1 hit that you would make, the first shot you would play, would be a tee shot. Quite like that. Well, that's probably right. Now, obviously, for all these clues, I think so far, we've said, oh, you have to read the clue and you have to split it into 2 pieces. One part which is the definition, one part which is the recipe. Now, the question mark at the end of this clue allows this clue to obey a different rule. This is what we call a cryptic definition. So we have to, a question mark it may mean different things, but one of its possible meanings is we have to read the whole clue and think about it in a lateral way. So number 1 hit, of course, makes you, it on the face of it sounds like it's a song that's a number 1 hit. But actually, if we read it in a cryptic way, you can totally see how this sentence defines the first shot on a golf course. Let's try 27 across 5 letters. Beginning with H. Very hearty sandwiches to cut into triangles. Very hearty sandwiches. How can that... I mean, it's got a question mark at the end again. So this question mark could indicate that this is a cryptic definition. I don't think it can be. I mean, how... Very hearty sandwiches to cut... No. This feels like there's wordplay going on here, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, but why? Well, okay. I think I can... I think this is... Well, I'll tell you how I've got this. Very, I know, can be abbreviated to V. Something's V good. It's very good. Then I was thinking, hearty sandwiches. That might be saying, think of a 4-letter word for hearty, and you may have heard of the phrase hale and hearty. And that's going to sandwich, so it's going to act as the crusts to the abbreviation of very. So if we put hale around V, we get halve. Now, is to halve to cut into triangles? Maybe. Is that in the is that sort of hinting at what you might do with a sandwich? If you cut I suppose, yeah. If you have a sandwich, like 2 rounds of bread, and then you cut it, often you would cut them into a triangle just with a diagonal slice, wouldn't you? And that would have the effect of halving. And that's why, this is the meaning of the question mark here, is saying that this answer halve is, it could be the result of cutting bread into triangles. It was not necessarily because we could cut the bread into 7 million triangles if we did it very, very slowly and strangely. But one possible effect is to halve. So I think halve must be right. It feels right, and I think that it is cutting 2 rounds of bread along a long diagonal. I think that's what's being got at with the definition. Let's go for 20 down. 6 letters. Hasty dairy supplier, not quite filling tin. Okay, I don't know what this is. No, I still don't know what it is. But I do understand a bit of this one. If you see anything in a cryptic crossword clue that is an element from the periodic table, you need to be thinking about its abbreviation. Now, tin is SN, isn't it? So something filling tin makes me think that we're putting S and N. Is it stanium or something? Is that where that comes from? I'm not sure, but I mean, I know it is, so I'm prepared to look it up. Stanum, Latin. So hasty. If you're hasty, you are sudden. Yeah, it's lovely. If you act in a hasty way, you act in a sudden way. Dairy supplier is an udder, as in a cow's udder. Not quite. So not quite all of the word udder fills the S and the N, and we get sudden. Let's go for 23. I'm so nervous. I'm not going to know that one. 4-4. Oh, the reference to a spooner. Right, okay. So presume spooners cook specially shaped dish. Now, spooners, we're going to have to talk about this. The Reverend Spooner, I don't know even if this is apocryphal, but I think Reverend Spooner lived about 100 years ago and used to muddle up the first syllables of things. So, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. It's so difficult to think of, just fast track might become tasked frack. So that's what's going on in this clue somehow. We're swapping the first syllables of a phrase, but it probably is a made-up phrase. It's not going to be a phrase we know. Well, it's unlikely to be. So presume. If you presume something, you take or make or... Spooners cook specially shaped dish. I just don't know what that is, I'm afraid. I think that's probably not where we look next. Let's go for 24 down, which is 5 letters with an L in the middle. Prison officers were kept in by delay. I want that to be something like gulag or offlag for the name of a prison. Officers were kept in. So a gulag. It's more likely to be offlag, but I can't see why. An offlag, I think that was maybe the same as a gulag, but for officers. But the offlag and gulag are both words for prisons. A delay is a lag. So it feels like it's something like this, doesn't it? Officers were kept in. Oh, no, I see. I thought officers were kept in was part of the recipe. It feels like it is. Officers were kept in. So it feels like you have to put a word for officers into something. But an offlag, if I'm right with what I just said, which is that is the equivalent of a gulag but for officers, then prison officers were kept in could just be the definition. It's a long definition, but there's no reason it couldn't be that. And then by, I think of and by are synonymous, and to delay is to lag. So offlag, I think, is right there. Now let's look at this. Prestige would fit. Heritage, the stuff of history. One man's retreat out of Moscow, primarily the stuff of history. This must be Hermitage without M, I think. Yeah, I mean, it must be that. So it's heritage, the stuff of history. I think, okay, one man's one man's retreat is a hermitage. I think hermitage is also the name of a museum, but I think here, if we were to look up hermitage in the dictionary, it would literally say a place of retreat for a hermit, which is obviously a solitary man. So we've got hermitage. We take out of that Moscow primarily. That's the first letter of the word Moscow, to get heritage, and that's the stuff of history. I mean, that must be right. Let's just have a look at hermitage, just because it's a nice word. There we go. A hermit's cell. Oh, a wine. Oh yes, I think I've Crow's Hermitage I've heard of. Okay. Anyway, that's I shouldn't think about wine, should I? It's far too early in the day. Bellwether would fit at 14 down. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about whether or not that could be bellwether. If you ring somebody, you do bell them, don't you? A sailor in race that's lost time. A sailor in a race that's lost time. He'll protest. I thought a bellwether was like the person who would lead something. I don't think it's a protester, but I could be wrong. Okay, so what have we got? Oh, let's try and do 25 down. We've never looked at it. 4 down. Sorry, 4 letters. Something for the offertory when in church. Okay, very nice. So, something for the offertory. We need to think of a short synonym for when, and we need to put it in a short abbreviation for church. Now, if you see church in a cryptic crossword, it's almost always either CH or CE. They are both valid abbreviations. CE from Church of England, CH I think from Ordnance Survey Maps. So we put as, which is a synonym for when. In CH we get cash, and that is something you might put in the offertory. So that's at least doable. Now 23. 4-4. Presume, take hold, take. So if it was take hold, then we have to spoonerize that. Take hold would become hate told. Spooners cook. Specially shaped dish. Cooks. I mean, it's just not that, is it? Presume. Take. Make good. Make good. Gake mud. We're going to have to come up with some nonsense here. A bellwether would be horrible. An E here would be horrible, wouldn't it? So this protester. Ring. Sailor. In race that's lost time. Ring could be peal, as in a bell might peal. He'll protest. He'll protest is a abolisher. No. Is this E here? Weird. I really like outre for weird there. So without, frankly, without rib. How can I not get this? It's just baffling to me how my brain just shuts down sometimes. Without relieve. What's this? Present. To present is to I don't know. I think maybe I'm just talking nonsense then. Frankly. Without deceive, without... To present is to... Oh, that's just silly. It's silly that I can't get this. Okay, let's go back to this. Ring sailor in race. I mean, it is a very hard puzzle, so it could be that this is going to be a particularly hard crossing. Frankly weird. No, we've only got to focus on one clue at a time. So, ring sailor in race that's lost time. He'll protest. Ring could be call, bell. And what is this sailor then? Is it an ordinary seaman, OS? And if it was, is that going there? So a word for ring. And then a sailor, OS, in a race. And the race is now going to be a 5-letter word for a race that's lost a T. And almost certainly and if it was that, what is it? What's the Hill protest? I keep thinking of pen pushers and people like that. I could be on the wrong lines here. Which is a bit terrifying. Presume. Spooner's cook. Specially shaped dish. It's such a weird phrase. A specially shaped dish. Bowl. Presume. Take hold. Presume. I don't love this. I don't love this OS here. To presume is to take for. You take somebody for a fool. You presume they're a fool. Spooner's cook. To cook is to heat. To boil. I mean, there's so many words for cook. But the specially shaped dish, that feels like the bit of this that we might be able to get. And that make a bowl I quite like there, but presume something bold. Bold face or something. Base. Take hold. I keep coming back to take hold. It's not take hold, I don't think. Let me just put take hold in. Why could it be that? Hake told. No. Presume. It's not. It's not that. Oh, don't delete the letters that are right. Oh, goodness. Let's go back to this one then. We're just going to have to keep thinking. Frankly. Without without... This is without reserve? Served, but yeah, without reserve. Okay. To serve is to present. If you present somebody with papers in a lawsuit, you'd serve them with papers. And it is outre then for weird. So without reserve, bellwether still fits here. It's not bellwether, is it? Let me just put that in and just try and think about why. Sailor in race that's lost time. Bell and a sailor in a race that's lost. I don't think it is. If it is, I don't understand it at all. I'm certainly not saying this doesn't begin with bell or peal. Ring, sailor in race. I'm trying to think of races, like horse races. The Oaks is a horse race, so without the T, it would be he Oaks. That's no good. It's going to be, the word race here is going to end in, the synonym for race is going to end in an R. It's going to end ER, HER, I think. It could be a race, not as in something that you compete in. It could be the name of a race of people. He'll protest. Maybe I've literally got to think of the definition and get back into it that way. Who will protest? Somebody who was a bewailer. This could be why many people have found this puzzle very difficult, because I can certainly see 23 across. This feels like a very difficult answer. Spooner's cook, specially shaped dish. What other dishes are there that you might find in a kitchen that are specially shaped, that are not bowls? Presume. Make. Or can I think of who is the sailor in this one? Or what's the abbreviation for the sailor? Ring sailor in race that's lost time. He'll protest. He is a real something. No, that's rubbish. That's absolute rubbish. Presume Spooner's cook. The specially shaped dish probably ends in a D. So I should be able to conjure up some sort of cook specially shaped dish. Roast, heat, boil, toast. Bold. Presume. Make bold? Oh, bake mold. Oh my goodness. Bake mold. No. Make bold. That could be right, couldn't it? If you make bold, I think you do presume. You sort of act in a bold way. And then if you bake a mold, how hard is that? A specially shaped dish is probably a mold. M-O-U-L-D. No, that's mold. So a mold. Well, yeah, I think it is that. I think it's bake mold, spoonerized for make bold. Now all I've got to do is get this one. Something leather? He'll protest. Hellraiser. He'll protest. But someone basher? Oh, ring sailor. That's not saying... It's not saying reverse an abbreviation for sailor, is it? Ooh. Well, that would allow me to do something like that. And then... But then my race that's lost time would have to be a 9-letter word that has a T in it, blank, and it's got some sort of E-L... No, well... Hellbasher. I don't like that. But I do wonder whether it might... If there was a race that was the something, and we took the T out, then that could begin. No, I don't like that, because that's going to have hell after it, and the double L, I don't understand how that's being... No, that's wrong. I don't think it's right. He'll protest. A deal basher. Deal basher. He always protests. We don't want to listen to him. Seal basher. No. This isn't half man, half biscuit. Well, did they do a song about seal clubbing or something, didn't they? I don't know. That in my brain I've got I hate Neris Hughes and seal clubbing. I can't. Why is this in my brain? Go away. He'll protest. Somebody who protests is a spoil sport, he'll... No. I'm going to get this. I refuse to give up this easily. Something leather? That's not going to be a word I know if it is that. He'll protest. Well-wisher? No. Yell. This... golly, I don't know. What is this word? Ring sailor. In race that's lost time. What's the sailor? It does make me wonder whether this is something basher, I have to say. Or could it be a reversal of tar in the middle of something? That would give rather. And then the race that's lost time. That doesn't feel right either, though. Would have to be something like healther or something. Race. A race that's lost time. What is the race there? I'm going to have to give up in a minute, aren't I? And that's very, very annoying. I don't know. I'm never sure how long to spend, whether I should just sit here for 10 minutes more, or whether you're all going to be cross if I do that. Ring sailor in race. I sort of want to, because I don't want to give up. Have I put in all of the checking letters correctly? That can sometimes be a mistake you can make. I think I have. So, what on earth do we do now? I don't know. Can I think of any other abbreviations for sailor? Am I just nowhere near this answer? That's also possible. He'll protest. He's an absolute something, a loacher, a reproacher. But it's not that, is it? Woman of letters. I mean, I never checked that, but it felt right. What is this letter? Oh, I think I'm going to be defeated again. He'll protest. Right, we're going to give it one more minute. Hopefully. A protest. He'll protest. Ring sailor. Bell. Am I not thinking of an abbreviation for sailor here? A bell. Sailor in race that's lost time. Maybe it is. Maybe it's actually the name of a sailor in a race. I haven't thought of. Oh, a yachtsman or something. A yachter. A bellyacre. Oh my goodness. A yachter. A bellyacre. Well, I mean, I'm really pleased that I stuck with that. Bell, so ring, bell, A sailor in a race it must be a yotter. I mean, I've never really heard the phrase of a yotter, but I can imagine a yotter, a person sailing a yacht. And then a bellyacre. That is very hard. I'm very submit without leaderboard. I think it's probably right. Bellyacre's right. There we go. It's correct. It's taken ages. I apologise. You're probably all very cross, but it was a brutally hard puzzle. And I found it brutally hard, especially that, I think it's that crossing, 14 down with 23 across. Bellyacre. The reason it's hard, let's try and explain the reason it's hard. It's a weird word, bellyacre. It doesn't fit your eye, or it doesn't fit my eye very well. But also, the use of sailor in the clue throws up so much history in your brain if you've been solving these things for a while. You're so used to AB, OS, tar, jack, all of these synonyms. It's really difficult to get yourself out of that. But we did in the end, and we'll have a go at the quick cryptic. Now, there was a comment last week saying, could I do this sort of thing, but for the quick cryptic, because the hard cryptic is such a hurdle. Perhaps is the answer. I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see. I'm going to race at this though. I'm going to try and race anyway. By Mara, I give up drink permit. I give up passport. Women's group backed by politician WI and Wimp, I think. Let's try a little nipper. Toddling forward. Pert. Clever. Place that article in centre of museum. Site, I think. Person investigating must be private eye. I'm just going to stop there and go for it. Exposed skin on remarkable calf. Expose, I don't know. Screen it after editing behind closed doors. It must be in secret, I think. Painting or paintings, etc. lifted through hole. Portrait? Feels like portrait. Art. Something like that. Emperor, that's a hidden Tsar. Fetch riveter nuts lasting crate is retrieve. What's this then? Expose, reveal. Oh, it's calf, as in, that's clever. Blemish on crazy Ottoman leader in country. Madagascar. Carry on director might do this. Take a something. Don't know what though. South, is that Yemeni? Troops and I behind you. Yeah, Yemeni, I think. Dog one on a trampoline. Is that going to be a Springer, as in a Springer Spaniel? Bird heading for pigeon fancier. Should have been, I don't know. A victory so unlikely for country. Ivory Coast, probably. Type properly, silly Simon. Smooth surfaces, glib. Mysterious beast, e'en one's nowhere to be seen. Absentee, I think. That's an anagram. 9 going wrong. Damn it. Rats. Evil spirit and poor golfer. I don't know. I should be able to get that. Risotto prepared after first, and one for the road is a motorist. So what's this then? Fancier, lover, plover. Take a carry on director might do this. Make a scene. Yeah. A moggy bit. Atom. When cut, when half. Is that hewn? Feels like an anagram. Evil spirit and poor golfer. Bogeyman? That's good. That's great. A bogeyman. Someone who makes a lot of bogeys. Shocker. Boo Boo. One of our most revered supporters. How was that? 8th. Not terrible. I just didn't beat Mark there. Got close to Matthew, Marcus and Mark within 7 seconds. I was talking, so not the worst time ever. But also, apparently, I beat Liam Hughes. That's okay. Liam is a super solver, so that's a rarity. There we go. There's a couple of puzzles there that were very, very hard indeed. Well, the second one wasn't as hard, but it had Bogeyman was fantastic. Let me know in the comments whether you enjoy the videos. If you do, please do subscribe. The statistics tell us that a lot of people watch the videos and watch a lot of the video, but don't subscribe. It's a favor you can do for us. It costs nothing at all, but it helps with the algorithm. So please, if you can find the kindness in your heart, we'd really appreciate it. And we'll be back later with another edition, Cracking the Cryptic.